Wow, what a year. It's been one like no other. With everything we've experienced and with so many small businesses, self-employed and accounting professionals tuning into our 5th QuickBooks Connect today, I know I speak for everyone at Intuit QuickBooks when I say we feel more responsibility than ever to support you. So I'm going to spend a bit of time reflecting on you, your unbelievable stories of inspiration this year. And we'll focus on 3 themes, which will ground us very much in the here and now and really fill you with optimism as we look towards the future. Number 1, your resilience. Number 2, the macro trends and the challenges that we all need to ride. And number 3, the digital economy, which is a topic that I absolutely love and it really does excite me. Let's talk about resilience, which is absolutely at the heart of everything good I've seen come from a very difficult and challenging year. Resilience has always felt personal to me. I saw a lot of this when I was growing up. When I was 13, my mum woke me and my sisters up one morning and said we needed to pack and go. There was a ton of domestic violence going on and she made the decision that we simply just had to get out, and she took us to a homeless refuge. I don't know how she did it, but my mum, who's my absolute inspiration, kept battling in unbelievably challenging circumstances and managed to rebuild and get a small business off the ground. I remember it so close to working. It was a clothes shop, she had customers and it was growing. But it ended up failing because she just didn't have the cash flow. That for me is when I really saw for the first time the battle that small business owners can go through to make a living. I remember it so vividly, and I remember how the pressure gauge just went up and up and up. This experience showed me the consistent characteristics I see from people who deal with challenging situations. The ability to adapt, press reset, really embrace change, and move forward with optimism. I'm a firm believer in viewing barriers as obstacles to knock down rather than be knocked back by. That for me is resilience, and I can tell you, I've seen it in all forms from this community over the last 12 months. It's pivoting your business to save your livelihood. It's motivating yourself to move fast when everything's stacked against you. It's delivering for your customers despite more roadblocks than ever. It's even working virtually with kids, pets, shocking Wi-Fi, and nowhere to switch off and decompress. It's everywhere, and I've got so much respect and admiration for all of you as you battle on. And I want to spend a moment digging into a few examples I just gave. So let me look at pivoting first. One of our customers, Freddie Hewitt, pivoted his coffee shop into a grocery delivery service for his community. He set up a Facebook page and almost overnight he had a new business model and new local customers. Now Freddie came out the blocks super fast, but we now know that 1 in 5 of you set up an e-commerce website in lockdown 1. Digitally enabled businesses were popping up absolutely everywhere. MasterCard recorded a huge 40% increase in contactless payments. But being forced to pivot and embrace new ways of working is really hard. But did it knock your spirits? No way. I spoke to one business and I asked them, how do you feel about the future? And I loved the response. I'm optimistic because if I'm not about my business, no one else will be. Resilience doesn't end with pivoting to new business models. We've dressed it up today, but I'm presenting you from my home. And I bet most of you are in a study, a living room, a bedroom, a garage, a loft, maybe the car. The shift to virtual working means we're living the workplace of the future. But when you mix virtual working with lockdown and running a business, it's tough. You might be supporting a loved one, or maybe you're seeing the line really blur between working and not working. In my case, it's homeschooling. Now I love my kids to bits, but I've got a total new appreciation for the work our teachers do. Everyone's new virtual situation is absolutely unique to them, but what's consistent is you're battling and you're making it work. So that's resilience, the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. I'm now going to dig into the macro trends in the economy, technology, and compliance that we've really seen playing out in the background. Where better to start than the economy? Now, I've had to be so selective with the news I read this year. Pick up the wrong story and it can be painful. What's for sure is the pandemic has been bruising, but let me paint a more rounded picture of what we're seeing. There's nearly 6 million small businesses and self-employed in the UK, employing nearly 17 million people, which makes them the absolute backbone of our economy. Now, early data shows that year on year, there was a 25% increase in small business failures in 2020. Now, this stat massively hurts. I am so determined to increase the small business survival rate, which is why I love the data which shows new businesses rose by 85,000 to nearly 690,000 in 2020. That's 12% growth in new business startups, and that's in the middle of a pandemic. The government has helped by providing extraordinary stimulus. There were 9.9 million staff on furlough as we ended 2020. There was also an astonishing number of loans. If you combine the coronavirus business interruption loan scheme and the bounce back loan scheme, it totals £66 billion. And 2.3 million self-employed have claimed on the income support scheme. So those are the numbers. But we have to remember the millions of personal stories that sit behind them. But the signs of the fight back are there. And when you think about your resilience, I'm absolutely convinced we will battle, innovate, and come back stronger. One of the enablers of this fight back will be technology. The pandemic has pulled technology forward by 5 years. It's accelerated the move from offline to online, and there's been a fundamental move to virtual across services and expertise. With this comes massive adoption of artificial intelligence and machine learning, which have created vast possibilities in analysis, forecasting, and data mining. And this is all underpinned by 5G, which is increasing mobility and productivity through superfast, frictionless connectivity. These are the building blocks of digital innovation, and the pace at which we're developed means we can serve our customers better than ever. We do hundreds of what we call follow me homes every single year, so we can better understand the biggest problems faced by our customers. Pre-pandemic, the number one challenge was cash flow. 80% of failures every year are because of cash flow, and I shared the story earlier about my mum's business. Linked to cash flow is late payments. I'm sure this incredible stat won't surprise you. There's £50 billion owed to small businesses. Now, this only isn't essential to get money in for cash flow. It's also very stressful to get the money in, and normally you're spending time in weekends and evenings to do so. And there's the battle and the burden of admin. Small businesses can waste 120 days a year on it. That's a third of a year on admin. And finally, it's confidence. Only 1 in 4 are confident in their finances, whether that's from filing a tax return, running payroll, or having a consolidated and longer-term financial view. When we speak to our customers now, they tell us that these problems are the same during the pandemic, but they are massively magnified. In QuickBooks, we're harnessing new technologies, and the impact on solving these magnified problems is amazing. So we've redefined our vision. Our goal for QuickBooks is to be the source of truth for small businesses. Now, please stay tuned to watch our innovation spotlights coming next, where the UK leaders will take you through innovations in tax, payments, and cash flow. And we also have a very special keynote for our accounting professional partners. The last macro trend I'm going to look at is compliance. Firstly, in tax, we're going to see the new wave of making tax digital, also known as MTD. 1.2 million businesses below the VAT threshold will need to file digitally by April 22, followed by 4 million self-employed sole traders and landlords by April 23. The first wave of MTD had an amazing impact on our customers, driving much higher confidence scores in tax filing, saving on average 3 hours every quarter, and we have now made over 1 million filings. we know it will drive significant productivity gains over the next 5 years. The main friction point in MTD was helping businesses move from their traditional filing to digital. But we have seen that barrier removed for so many after the mass shift to digital adoption during this pandemic. So these are the macro trends we're seeing. The last topic I'm going to cover is my favorite. It's the digital economy. It connects the economy, technology and compliance trends that we've just discussed and gives me massive hope for the future. The pandemic put digital front and center for millions of people in all walks of life. Whether that's using Zoom, I don't know about you, but this time last year, I didn't know what Zoom was. I certainly didn't know what Zoom fatigue was. Or Peloton, so you can see my Peloton bike next to me. That has been massive for me in terms of my own mental health and well-being, but it's also another great example of using a virtual platform that connects to experts. So whether you've used Houseparty, Babylon Health, Ocado, TikTok, which is taking e-commerce by storm, Amazon Prime or Nextdoor. Last March, they all became core to our new virtual world as we went digital. Lockdown stopped people movement, which for many businesses stopped money movement. For those businesses, digital stepped in to connect them to their employees and customers. 60% of small businesses in the UK adopted new digital tools. We spent some time working with a think tank called Oxford Economics to better understand how the mass adoption of digital would affect productivity amongst businesses. They found digital skills adopted during the lockdown simplified processes and admin in the day-to-day running of a business. We're a great example of this at QuickBooks. Our customers save on average 7 hours a month through the efficiency of our digital platform. Oxford Economics looked into these productivity gains and mapped it across the UK. They gave us a big number. The adoption of digital tools in lockdown, such as e-commerce and digital payments, can drive an annual boost of £4.1 billion to the economy. They also found something else that I find really interesting, but also really heartwarming. 2020 has shown how much love we have for our local small businesses. There's an amazing stat. 88% of us feel a more positive connection with our local businesses since lockdown. Google reported a whopping 1,300% increase in search terms for local meat delivery and local farm boxes. Searches for beer delivery rose by 500%, and I was definitely one of those people. The love for our local small businesses and the creation of the digital high street is an amazing outcome of this year. And we felt the love back. Oxford Economics research, which we're launching today, found that you're giving 9 hours per month back through volunteering and charitable work. Across the UK, you've given back a whopping 650 million hours of your time to keep your local communities moving. You've done this through allowing your local community groups, schools and charities to use your business premises. You've raised money for the NHS. You've even lived separately or isolated from family members to enable you to continue providing your services or the goods that you sell during lockdown. Your commitment to us is so inspiring. Without doubt, 2020 has been the most difficult year in our lifetime, and its effects will ripple in so many ways in a future that's full of unknown. And I want to close by returning to the 3 themes I talked about at the beginning. Your resilience, the macro trends that we all face, and the digital economy. Because that's where I see so much hope. I believe that through your resilience, the new possibilities brought by technology, and the digital economy's reinvigoration of our love for local small businesses, we, the community, will be able to bounce back stronger. Pieces are moving into place for the most extraordinary of circumstances, and I genuinely believe it's going to help everyone in this virtual room, this community of small businesses, self-employed and accounting professionals, go further together. Today's show is the perfect opportunity to reflect on this. Think about your last 12 months and the journey you've been on, both in your business and your personal life. But in equal measure, look forward. Think about, what does your business look like in 1, 3, and 5 years? And for those who are hearing about the possibilities of digital for the first time, please do consider putting it at the heart of your strategy. It will create so many options for you and your business. With that in mind, we've designed today to be a toolbox for helping you chart that path forward. It's about learning new tools and skills to adapt in this changing world. It's about creating and connecting to the communities that have small businesses at their absolute heart. And I know you'll love hearing about the ways QuickBooks can help you on your journey. Thank you for your constant resilience and courage. You should all feel so proud and excited by the future. I hope you enjoy the rest of today's show.